Hello, Money Multipliers. Welcome back to another episode of the Money Multiplier podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Kessler, and we ask ourselves, do our dollars make sense? So it's the week of Thanksgiving, 2 days away. I'm going to be stuffing my face with some good grubbing and some good food. So actually the family, we're going to be heading down to Dallas, Texas for Thanksgiving. I'm going to spend some time with Nanny and Papa and Aunt Sandy, Uncle Brad, my cousins. So it'll be a good time. So Nanny and Papa, they're not doing too hot right now. So we got to go down there and spend some time with them. And this is why I've been finding it very necessary here recently. You know, I had no passion in like long-term care and things like that. But oh my gosh, going through that personal stuff with Nanny and Papa and kind of seeing what my mom and dad have to go through with the financial help, the time help, having to go out there, find the right nurses to come in and care for them every single evening and morning. I mean, it's a lot, man. It's a lot of stress and a lot of time, energy, financial strength that you got to do and put into that. So, anyways, I don't know how I got on that topic. Yeah, because I guess we're going down to Dallas for Thanksgiving. But in today's episode, I'm really going to hone in on the testimonials and our client success stories. All right, I call our folks Money Multiplier members, but you can call them clients, because we have 9,000 plus folks all across the states of United States, and it's just so cool to see and hear your personal growth and journey that you have accomplished walking down this road of the infinite banking concept. Because at some point, I know a lot of y'all, you've been following me for a long time, but you've just never hopped in the pool yet. And in order to learn how to swim, you got to get in the pool. Put your floaties on and let's go jump into the deep end. And honestly, you don't got to jump into the deep end. You can hang out in the kiddie pool for a little bit before you expand to go to the deep end. So I just want to share some stories, and I guess the first story I want to share is the Kessler family story, okay? Because us over here, I always say this was not our world. If you would tell me that I'd be sitting here talking to a camera and educating the public on money and banking, I would tell you y'all are crazy, okay? Because what I wanted to do when I was growing up, I had a passion to be a teacher, maybe a math teacher, an art teacher, something like that. Then when I got to freshman year of high school, I kind of pivoted and I wanted to explore the veterinary world because I have a passion for animals and I like helping animals, people, etc. So, and then it just kind of totally pivoted that I found myself in college doing a little bit. I was running some CPA classes and kind of learning a little bit about marketing, business over there. And then it just got to the point that I was like, you know what? I have no idea what the F I want to do. I like fashion. That's really where my passion lies. I like math. I like numbers. I like money. Here, hold on. And Daisy came in. Say hi to the camera, Miss Daisy. Hey, everyone. She's been a good little girl today. But, so then I had a passion for fashion design. I was kind of going out and I wanted to pursue that for a little bit. And, how I was making my living, I was just at Cracker Barrel being a waitress. I talk about that from time to time. And Mom and Dad called me up one day, and actually this was back in the time where Mom, Dad, and I, we really didn't have that great of a relationship. I mean, honestly, this is the tightest and strongest bond that we have ever had in my whole entire life. And back then, they just called me up and said, Hannah, we kind of need some help in the business. Will you come in and help us? And everything that I've learned up to this point is through my dad. He is really my main mentor, my mom as well. And then just also other people that we've met while going out and teaching this stuff, being around folks in the room that are smarter than myself and dad. You know, you hear Pop say that all the time. I am not the sharpest tool in the tool shed. And some people tell me I'm a few dozen short of a dozen donuts, something like that. So, you know, that was kind of like my journey, but really where my dad got into all of this is because, right, he was a chiropractor. He had 5 clinics in the Kansas City area, and he found himself in almost $1 million of debt back then. You know, he had the condo at the lake. We had the primary residence in Kansas City. We had boats, wave runners. Dad's an aviation enthusiast, so he had some airplanes. And it didn't take him long to get in that boatload of debt. And it was this concept that got him out of this debt. And I've talked about it before. I think my episode is called The Person Behind the Pod. And I was talking about how there was a lot of relationship strength between my mom and my dad, and even the children and mom and dad, you know, my brother and I. You know, mom and dad were always fighting because of financial stress and money and things like that. And I mean, this concept has just been total life changer to live a more fulfilling, more free, more prosperous life. And I mentioned this before, you know, Dad would always say, hey, you know, money's not everything, but it's pretty close up there next to oxygen. And I thought he was an arrogant a-hole when he used to say that, but now that I'm getting older, I get it. Money kind of is really what makes the world go around, and it's just a powerful tool and resource to accomplish the goals and opportunities that you want to go do in your life. So, you know, that was back in 2006 is when Dad first heard about this concept. He was at a chiropractic convention, and he actually bought Nelson's book, all right, Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash, and he didn't do anything with the information. He went back home, he set the book on the shelf, and he went back to treating the patients in the office. And Dad ran a very successful chiropractic business, you know, making over $1 million a year from the clinics and things like that. But I mean, if you're making $1 million a year, but your overhead's $900,000, I mean, who in the hell cares how much you're making? Because it only matters how much you keep. So he just went back. He was doing his daily living. He didn't change anything that he was doing. So it came around the time back in 2008, so 2 years later, he went back to the same chiropractic convention, and he was greeted by about 10 or 12 of his colleagues that were coming up and hooting and hollering about this banking concept. You know, Brent, I'm paying the debts in the office. I'm paying for my key employees' salaries. I'm able to keep the money for the family, and there's no leakage that's going out to other people. This stuff is really cool. You should check this out. So that's when my dad started. And, you know, Dad, he didn't have all of the knowledge underneath his belt. You know, he probably got it about 75% of the way. But Dad is the type of person that if he just kind of feels something and he knows that it's right and it's true, he's going to hop on board and go do it. So that's what he did. My mom wasn't a believer. It actually took her even 2 years after that, 2010, to be fully on board. And at that time, she closed out her 401k, just totally cashed it out, paid the tax, paid the penalties, and then got out of the 401k and just kind of started the policies there. So now, you know, it's up to the point where the family, we are doing this actively with 28 policies within the Kessler family. I own 6 of my own policies. Just today, I sent my younger brother, who's 22 years old, I sent him his policy contract for his second banking policy that he's opening up. So, you know, his first one was $2,500 a year. His second one, he's doing $1,000 a month. So congrats, Zach. I'm proud proud of you. And it's kind of funny, you know, because Zach, he's flying for NetJet right now, and his colleagues and his friends and his bosses are coming up to him saying, Zach, you know, you should really start that 401k. Start that 401k. And I said, Zach, if you start that freaking 401k, I'm your older sister, and I have the authority to beat your ass if you do it. Sorry, Zach, but I'm in control right now. So I'm proud of him. I'm very, very proud of him because he comes to us wanting this financial guidance. Honestly, y'all, shout out to even my close personal friends. Y'all have been following me. I hear you. I actually just got back here over the weekend. I went to a 4-day music festival. All right, so that's what I like to do. You know, through my policies at one point in 2021, I went and bought myself a conversion van, and I funded it with the policy money, right? So I went and bought the conversion van, did all of that, custom build. I built it around myself and Daisy, hitting the road, traveling together. And I take it out to these music festivals. That's just what I like to do. I like to chase my favorite bands around the country and listen to live music and hang out with my friends and cut loose for a little bit. So when I was out there, I was so surprised with how many people wanted to come up to me and talk about banking. They said, Hannah, I've been following your podcast and I need to do better with my money. I want to sit down and talk to you about what you're doing and some of the feedback and advice you would give me. And reminder, you know, I don't give financial advice, okay? I'm not a financial advisor. I just tell y'all what I personally do in my own life and what's been working out for me. So that's what I'm here explaining all day long on my weekly podcast uploads that I'm doing for you. So that was really cool. I mean, there were about like 5 of y'all that came up to me in a group of, 20 people that we went with that just wanted to come up and chat about banking and money management for a little bit. And I love it, you know, honestly. So anywho, I don't know how I got off on that tangent. Again, I got a little ADD, so sorry. Welcome back. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I would not be here if it wasn't for your support and tuning in and walking down this road and this journey with us. So I want to share a few of the testimonials with y'all of real life Money Multiplier members who are incorporating this concept and have been walking this road too. You know, and just real quick, before I get into it, you know, the Money Multiplier, we've been established since 2017. So prior to 2017, Pops was in another agency and he was working with his old mentor who unfortunately passed away. And he started teaching infinite banking in 2012. So we started practicing it in 2008. Dad started teaching it in 2012. And the reason he started teaching it was just because he was starting to refer a lot of the patients that would come into the office to his mentor. And the mentor just came up to him and said, hey, Brent, you know, you've referred me over 41 people just this year. You have a passion for this. You should maybe go out, maybe start reading up more on the Nelson Nash Institute, going out, getting your life insurance license, and maybe doing this, you know, because you can get compensated for these referrals. And so, and it was kind of at the time where, you know, Dad was treating patients for some time. I mean, I think he was a chiropractor for about 12 years or so. And you know, y'all, it just kind of gets to the point where you're just like, hey, this has been fun. I love doing this, but I'm just kind of sick and tired of going into the office every single day. You know, there may be some days where I just want to wake up and I want to go take a nice walk for 6 hours, or I want to go out on the boat and play for a little bit. And that's really the true goal of financial freedom, in my opinion, is having that time freedom back. So Dad kind of made the career pivot where he was selling the offices to the associate docs that are in there and started teaching it full time in 2012, traveling all around the country and speaking at live events and doing virtual webinars and things like that. Then his mentor, you know, he graduated and Dad then expanded to start the Money Multiplier, and that started in 2017. And ever since since then, we're sitting here in fall time of 2023. We have doubled every single year since that time point. And I think it's just amazing and so fascinating that y'all choose us, you know? I mean, there's so many people. It's kind of like how you can go to McDonald's or Burger King, right? And you're going to pick which one you go to. At the end of the day, they're basically the same venue, same place. You can get the same sort of things, but they have a little bit of different critiques to them. And so it's just really cool that out of all the practitioners out there that you choose us to walk down this journey with. And I thank you and I appreciate y'all and I see you. And we're always traveling around the country teaching on this method. So you can always holler at us. I want to meet you in person live. There's just been so many bonds and friendships and relationships that we built up to this point. So I just want to extend my gratitude to all of y'all. So again, thank you. So here's the first testimonial I kind of want to get into. All right. So this gentleman, he writes into Pops and he goes, "Hi, Brent. I wanted to thank you for making this opportunity available for my family and I. No one in my family history has ever made it to a wealthy status, and I so much so want to change that. My father passed away last February and left our family with nothing but debt. I don't think I could go with a clear conscience knowing that my burden was now the family's burden. I've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and so many other books on wealth, but never knew what to do next. I feel like I feel like I now have a game plan to get started. I appreciate you and all you do to help people break free from the financial prison that our country is becoming. I look forward to learning more from you and getting my policy funded ASAP so I can get to work." So this individual, they didn't start their journey quite yet when they wrote this message into us. But just for them to have that level of knowledge that, hey, I don't want to leave this burden of debt and financial catastrophe to my next generation because I failed in my own financial life and I'm leaving them with $0 in the bank and a $500,000 mortgage that they got to go and pay off, right? I mean, it's real problems and nobody thinks that far into the future. And that's why I hound y'all all the time, y'all. You guys got to get behind this stuff. You guys got to understand how money operates and what the true meaning and kind of influx that it can have to your family. And I don't know, maybe you don't give a shit about your family, right? I mean, that's up to you. You control your own story as you're living here on this planet. But I just applaud this individual because it's not just you. It's you really creating the family empire and that family wealth building system. So to this individual, I'm proud of you. I'm excited. You can write in and tell us how things are going up to this point, but I'm excited that you're here and happy on this journey. Here's the next one. We're still on our strategy and it's all going well. Since we set up our IBC policy about 2.5 years ago, we've used it to eliminate 75% of our debt load. The only thing we have left is our personal residence, and we have had that paid off in 4 to 5 years. We will have that paid off in 4 to 5 years. That's paying off our mortgage in 10 years instead of 30. All told, including using my work bonuses wisely, in 7 years we will have paid off almost $600,000 of debt. From there, we will reach out to you to shift from using IBC for debt management to income production. We've been very pleased with our decision to leverage the power of the infinite banking concept as part of our overall financial strategy. So now this individual, they're in the midst of it. They're going in and they're paying off their debts. And this just makes me so excited. I'm so happy for all of y'all because that's really what it is. You know, the big major differences from like the buy term and invest the difference versus using the whole life policy to pay off the debt is just because you're not in that hoarding mindset. Because y'all, money It doesn't do anything if it just sits somewhere and just rots and compounds and just stays somewhere. Remember, money is made in the motion of it, and the whole goal is to keep it in motion and keep creating that passive wealth building income to pay off debts, to create more cash flow for the family each month, or use it to go and deploy out there so that we can keep creating these multiple streams of income. So this person, I mean, they're going to be so much farther ahead, and y'all, time freaking flies. Are you kidding me? In 4 to 5 years, 60 months, they're going to look back and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe we just got out of all of this, and all we did is we changed just one step. All they did is they changed one step in where the money was going first, and they just simply put it through the policy, then went out to go and deploy it. So congrats, y'all, and I'm very happy for you, because that's exactly where my family started in all of this. Okay, last one. Just wanted to share a testimony of success as a recent client. We bought a new 2023 Tesla Y today with our whole life policy and became our own bank for the first time. I'm going to start paying back myself at market interest rates and using the system. Pretty cool to actually walk out each step. You guys gave us great support to help me on my first transaction. No credit card check. No credit card check, haha. No credit check by the bank or lender. Who gets a loan? You can name your own terms. Continued death benefit with the policy, creating a tax savings on the repayment, and flexibility for future use or hard money lending on investments. So, you know, this person is just really honing in on the process of them now exploring them being their own banker, paying themselves back and paying themselves back with interest, and how important it is to be in control of the transaction, right? Because if they were to go down to the bank, take a loan from them, they are on the clock, the time clock of what the bank wants them to be on. They get to determine what they want to do for their loans, how they pay it back, and all that money goes back directly into their pocket. So it doesn't matter what you're using the money for. It can be a car, it can be a boat, it can be taxes, charitable giving, a wedding, vacation, the college education, my $1,200 sit-to-stand desk that I'm looking at right now. Dude, this desk, it was a hot, pretty penny, but let me tell you, I love this thing. Watch this. Woo! So that's how I adjust, y'all. When I'm getting ready for my podcast and things, this is how I adjust you. All right. Well, I'm just feeling very grateful today. I'm just feeling very grateful, and I'm happy. Also, you can write in your testimonials to us, and I may be sharing them here on this podcast. So if you go to our website, themoneymultiplier.com, underneath the resources tab, click on testimonials. You can go down, see all of the other testimonials that folks have posted, and you can also submit your own testimonial. I want to hear what y'all are doing. You guys are very, very smart creatures and individuals, and I applaud you. Keep learning. Reread Nelson Nash's book 2 times a year, at least 1 time, but try to make it 2. Do it every 6 months. Just go back, reread it. You know, there's some other books that I'm currently reading right now. I'm reading Build an Empire by Elena Cardone, Money Hacks by Larry Steinhaus, and there's one more. Oh, it's on my bedside table. It's like Money Mechanics by Robert Murphy. And then also my friend John, he's going to be coming into town here soon. John moved on me. He now lives in Michigan. John actually flies drones. Is his job. It's so freaking cool. He can like put up like 700 drones in the sky, and he does a whole bunch of drone shows. He actually just did a concert for a very big musical artist. He signed an NDA, so I can't say anything. Yes, because he did tell me. Sorry, I'm calling you out right now. But I promise, I'm not telling the public. I didn't even tell my own mother, okay? Not even Daisy, my kitty cat, all right? So sorry, John. But him and I are doing a whole series on the book, The Creature of Jekyll Island. And we kind of had to take a little pause. I think we got through like a third of the book up to this point, but we're going to start back up that series and just keep learning about what's going on with the Federal Reserve System, the government, and how folks are growing and flowing their money, because I'm telling y'all, there's so much money here in America, and there's all sorts of kinds to go around: creative financing, using other people's money, and just really getting smart and disciplined, because I'm telling you right now, the cheese has been moved. And that's another book, Who Moved My Cheese? The cheese has been moved, and we need to go and find out where that cheese is at and how to push it to best maximize our financial situation. So thank you for tuning in. I love y'all. And as always, you can reach out to me. My email is Hannah spelled the same ways, forwards and backwards, hannah@themoneymultiplier.com. Send me questions if you have them. If you got topics you want me to talk about, please let me know. I'm just here to support and elevate you and your knowledge base here. Rate the podcast, give us 5 stars, submit your feedback below. And as always, we're here every single Tuesday. I'll catch you then. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Bye, everybody.